Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is Wednesday, and the market is moving nicely. I just entered a position in Apple. Apple moved above a key level for me, and that, of course, is 127. And so, yeah, I mean, it seems like it's kind of a mixed bag. I want first. Let's kind of take a look see on the NASDAQ composite to see kind of how that's doing and see, kind of take a look to see, if we finally got it all clear. Now, it's pulling back a little bit, just slightly, really almost nothing, but it looks like it's going to hold above that 50-day line. So that's looking good. Very low volume, though. Very low volume, but we're finally starting to see the money seem to come back into the Nasdaq, which is great because that's kind of where I like to be. That's where the big cap tech stocks are. Microsoft made a move yesterday, but today it's looking like Apple may be following on. So that would be great if that were the case because Apple is a very key stock, obviously. It's very, very widely held, and it's sort of a bellwether for tech. So that is something that I think is very positive. Hopefully now we can start redeploying some of the capital, that we've had because we did, I think we got a bounce. I hope we're going to stay above the 50-day, and that would be great. So let's take also a look at the S&P 500. Again, this is making nice movement up above the 50-day. This is kind of what we want to see. We want to see this sort of gentle trend moving higher, and so this is definitely the case on the S&P, which is great because the S&P has many of the mid-cap stocks in it. Of course, about the third of the S&P 500 are financial companies. So it's looking a little bit better in this area. Still, we're kind of weak on the volume, but we're well above the 200-day line. So the market in general is just definitely moving up. Also wanted to show you the Dow Jones. Of course, this was the one that started this is where the fall through day started. And this has been the outlier. This has been the strongest. Interestingly enough, for basically all last year, it was the Nasdaq that was leading. It was the Dow Jones that was following. That's not the case now. It looks like we started with the Nasdaq, then we moved to the S&P, and then started with the Dow, moved to the Nasdaq, and now we're coming in with the Nasdaq. So that's looking good too. But low volume here, but really kind of good. Good things happening. Good things happening there. So just kind of wanted to put that out there. Just a few other stocks that I'd like to highlight here today. I would like to take a look at. Again, I want to show you Apple. I did just buy Apple and sell a covered call on it. So that was a good thing. I mean, that was a good thing. It's moved up very nicely today. The actual buy point on Apple is really 145.09. But what I did here was buy this reversal, which basically, as you can see here, I'm trying to there we go, trying to get my pen to mark. As you can see, that this is as it's moved above the 21-day, the 10-day, the 21-day, and then finally hit the 50-day. Then I kind of starting to come in to the issue. I'm still not fully there. I'd like to see obviously more strength, but but I started very conservatively, coming in with a covered call, buying a few shares and then selling a a May 7th 130 call. So that kind of went well. So I think hopefully we're going to start easing back in, but this is kind of, it's not necessarily an all clear for Apple yet, but it's, finally starting to firm up. I think hopefully if we can move above this line, as you can see, Apple really just hasn't been viable when because it's been below this 50-day line. Now as it's moving above that, I'm a little bit more confident. Of course, the relative strength is poor because it's been pulling back since about January, but the relative strength is improving. the relative strength line is starting to move up. On a lesser stock, I probably wouldn't have bought this early, but this is Apple, and I still think it's very good. It's got a 77 checklist now. The only thing it's lagging in is in the relative strength line and the accumulation distribution rating. It's not, but everything else: earnings per share, sales, current price, within 15% of its all-time high, 50-day moving average, all looking very nice in this area. There is another concern, of course, is the sector is not performing obviously as well as the oil and gas sector, which is where some of my smaller buys have been. Now, for full disclosure, I got shaken out of Denbury Resources today. I was kind of surprised at that, but I may be back in. I basically sold it at even money, didn't really make anything on it, but I still think there is strength in the E&P sector as well, and I want to kind of take a look at some of the issues there. So that's basically Apple. There is another stock I kind of want to look at. This one that I got shaken out of today, but I still have strong conviction in it, and that is Denbury Resources. It pulled back kind of sharply today, but it's still above the 21-day line. So that's why I sold. But I may be back in this one just because of its strength. I want of this group. Let's take a look at the group. This is the E&P group, and this group overall is number 2 out of 197. The biggest in this group, of course, EOG Resources, Pioneer National, and some of the ones in there. But I want to take a look at Matador. I don't have Matador, but this one has been actually doing a little bit better than Denbury. I probably should have been in this one and not in Denbury, but I do like this one. It's up today 44 cents, not a lot, 24.60 on the price of Matador. But I do like Matador. It has pulled back, but it looks like it's getting support at the 21-day line. It's got a relative strength of 98. This is very strong for an oil play. Again, the price of Texas Intermediate today is right about $59, so we're seeing some strength there. This has got a 77 checklist. Still not is what I'd like in terms of the sales. The sales are down, and that's mainly due to the price of oil. But this is one you might want to put on your watch list. Matador Resources is the name on this one. So kind of interesting stuff. Let's kind of get into some of the questions. Thanks for waiting here. Do appreciate it. All right. Do you think Tesla is waiting for Apple to catch up for the home run? Boy, I am a Tesla bull. I admit this. I probably was in Tesla a little bit early. I'll be honest. I love the stock. I've been out of it since it's been pulling back. But the interesting thing about Tesla, and I want to show you the chart here because this is really key on the chart. Tesla has pulled above this line that I've drawn here. This is the reversal line. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, typically what will happen is when a stock will reverse lower, but then it will hopefully turn upward. This is the daily chart, by the way, I'm looking at. I try to catch them as they're moving that. Now it made a move towards the 40-day line. I was a little bit more conservative on buying Apple. On buying Apple. I bought this one probably a little bit too early. I probably should have waited until I got to the 50-day line. But I like the stock so much that I kind of wanted to be on it. It's down today, $22 at $6.60. So I may be out. I don't know. I have to check my stops. But I may be out of this one, unfortunately, just because of how tight I set my stop losses. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to get back in. But if I've been shaken out this time, I'm going to wait probably until I get to the 50-day line to draw to buy once again. I have a small position in this one. I didn't have a major position in this one. Just 20 shares, not a lot. Okay, so basically the real buy point you should probably wait on Tesla until it moves above about the 225 level. 725 level. That's probably where it's going to be best to buy it. But still, I'm a Tesla bull, and even though I probably was shaken out today, still I'm a Tesla bull, and I do think that long term, it looks pretty darn good as usual. Well, it seems like I am. Let's see if I can move back here. Okay, great. I was having a little trouble with. There we go. with some of the. It seems to be working better today than it did yesterday. I apologize to everyone for having kind of a goofy, a kind of a goofy show yesterday because I was just having so many technical problems. It was just unbelievable. I just couldn't. I just couldn't seem to make it work. All right. Gonna answer before I answer this question from OB. I'm gonna take a question from TikTok. Thank you so very much for taking a look. Apple is a buy for long term. I think so. I bought 100 shares this morning. And by the way, I detail everything, all my trades on my on my Discord room. And if you're interested, that is available. And I show exactly the trades that I'm in and how I'm getting in, when I'm getting out, the whole thing. Basically, that's available. Just go to VhinNY.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So anyways, getting back here to Apple, I definitely believe that Apple is a strong, it is very strong. And so I just kind of wanted to show you the chart. I bought it as it reversed through. Can I put the line? Oh, there we go. It's going to let me do it. Hopefully. Yeah, maybe not. Sometimes I get it and it just doesn't quite have enough horse. There we go. So this is the reversal line here, and I'm going to set an alert on that line. Yeah. So basically, what's happening here is as it's making this reversal and it's hitting the 50-day line, that's essentially an early buy point. Now the correct buy point for Apple is 145, but I don't want to wait around that long. So I do think long term it's starting to firm up, starting to look good. We sort of have an intermediate important level at 137 here. And then there's the actual buy point at 145, which is the last all-time high. So I like very, very much Apple right now. Now, before I didn't like it because it was pulling back, but I think it's reversed, and hopefully we're in a situation where that's going to make a lot of difference. So let's see if we can get another question from TikTok. Thank you very much. This is Test Connection, and I want to say shout out to you. SPWR, let's look at that. Just kind of do an analysis on that one. SPWR. Let's take a look at that chart, everyone. Yeah, that's SunPower. SunPower just hasn't been doing very well. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, you can jump over to YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And I'm broadcasting the charts live. So that's kind of where I'm getting the information. You can't see it, unfortunately, on TikTok, but you could definitely see it on YouTube. So just want to kind of look at this chart here for SunPower. It just, SunPower is still kind of in this funk, and it's unfortunately, it has not pulled above its reversal line. So right now, I just don't think you can buy it, even though it does have a relative strength of 98, which is very strong. So here's the thing. Right now, the checklist is a little bit less than I like. It's a 55% checklist. I normally like to see at least 60 on the checklist. So this checklist doesn't quite make it in terms of the ratings. But, again, and another thing to be very concerned about here, I typically like to place my bets, and I guess they are bets, in the top performing sectors. Right now, Apple is an exception because it's not one of the top performing sectors. But right now, the sector rank for the energy solar group is 152 out of 197. So it's not a preferred group right now in terms of investment. So I would be watch listing SunPower right now. I would be very careful with it. I just don't think SPWR. I think it was a very good stock last year. When the sector was doing better, this sector is not doing very well right now. So I think you got to be super careful. I wouldn't be running into this one. Now, for stock ideas, let's take a look at some stock ideas so that we can find there are some very good options out here, and I want to kind of go through some of them with you in this space. And what I'm going to do is we're going to look at about 10 stocks here right now. These are all breaking out today, so I want to kind of take a look at them. And, nothing there. Okay. what I'm doing is I'm just flipping through. Okay, let's see about Richardson Electric. Let's see if that's okay. No, nothing there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We might be getting to one. No. Here's one that it's a less expensive stock. It is breaking out today. Symbol KZIA, and it's an ADR. It's basically an Australian company. Don't know a lot about it. It's pretty thin. I'd be a little bit careful with this one. So I can't really, can't really do much on this one. Let's take a look at Proficient. I'm just looking basically for breakouts right now for everyone out there. Oh, hey, goodness gracious. Now, these are biotechs. Interesting. Canadian-based biotechs. Okay, this is one. You might want to put this on your radar list. This is pulled up. It has a nice chart pattern. ONCY is the symbol. Let's kind of take a look at this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put down for after the show. I'm gonna look for everybody. By the way, that gets on the Action Trade Alerts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you out these breakouts for today. So you might want to get on the list. It's super easy to do. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and then get on the free alerts list. And this is one I'm going to look at breaking out today. This is ONCY. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look through these and see which charts that I like the best. This is an interesting one too, called Brunker Corporation. I've seen this one before. Kind of expensive. It's not really breaking out right now. Let's pass on that one. West Fraser Timber. Interestingly enough, wow! Look at this. Another Canadian base. Wow, this is up $4.30. This is an interesting one. WFG. Interesting. WFG. Well, I'm liking that one too. So that's going to be in my list. Smart Global. Let's see what Smart Global is doing. Nothing really. It's a penny stock. Oh, hey, by the way, this is a really interesting one. I think you might want to put this on your radar screen. It's LUV is the symbol on. It's a less expensive stock. I'll be honest with you, but I'm really liking this action. I've been watching this one for a while. It's called Spark Networks SE, and you might want to take a look at it. Symbol LUV. And by the way, if you're on the Action Trade Alerts, and you do that just by going to www.DallasTradingFloor.com and just signing up, just first last name. I'm going to put out after the show tonight. I'm going to put out a list of these ones that are breaking out today. So we've got a few more. We've got about 15 that are breaking out today. We're sort of having an interesting period. Oh, look at that. Well, Joanne Company. This is an interesting one. This is another one I think you want to put on your radar list. This is a retail store, and I don't know if you're familiar with Michael's stores or not, but this is sort of the competitor to this. It's just a recent IPO. I think it's really good. JOAN. Now, I'm not a crafter, but my girlfriend is. So this might be kind of an area that you might want to take a look at. JOAN is the symbol on this one, and I just kind of wanted to put that out there. We've got just a few more. By the way, I'm going to be putting these out. These are all breaking out today, by the way. And the question is how they're going to trade tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a list together, get it out to everybody on the Action Trade Alerts for tonight. All right, so let's look at Jewel. Chinese. No, I don't think so. Okay. Sun Country Airlines. Interesting. I wouldn't be in the mining company. Okay, so basically, I've got four that might be really interesting to everyone, and I kind of want to highlight those again as well. One of them is a biotech company, and this is This is called Oncolix Biotech. I don't know much about it. It's Canadian based. Very nice company. Very nice move. Right up to the buy point at 435, and it is breaking out. So that's one I think that you might want to take a look at. Its industry group is a little bit low. I'd like to see it better. Let's see how they're doing in terms of the biotech group. Let's just see if we can. This is one that's breaking out. So let's see if we can get a kind of a look-see on that. Well, I guess it's not looking and seeing that much for me. The next one is WFG. and that is a timber company. Interesting, another Canadian company. Canadian companies are really doing good things today. It's a little more expensive, $79.58 on that. But what I like about this one is right now, because of the housing coming alive, timber is going up so much in value, and this might be a very good play. A West Fraser Timber is the name of it. Symbol F, WFG. So this one's looking pretty good as well, and it's right at the buy point. So that's a plus. And again, I'm going to put these out after the show with charts and everything, so everyone can take a look. Now, this is what also I'm very interested in. This is called Spark Networks. This is a German company, but it's very low priced. But it's very volatile. So here's the thing about this one: you don't want a major position on this one. Smaller position. I don't own any of these, by the way, right now. I'm going to kind of look over them, but I want to kind of put them out there to everybody. This one provides a online personal service, interestingly enough, and it's a German company trading at 763. And of course, the last on the list, and this is the one I like the best. This is an IPO. And believe it or not, this is a retail store. And normally I don't like retail stores, but I know this store. I know that people really like this one. It's called, and it has almost a perfect IPO base. It's just come out, literally just come out, and it's looking very, very nice. It's called Joann Incorporated, and they run these crafting stores, and it's a very good store. I've been told. So, very good store. All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that, holding on for me on that one. And let's go back and take the next question from. Okay. Wait a minute. All right. Cool. Hey, Jim, did pretty well on Snap today. Nice. Okay. Thank you, Refi. You have Snap is let's see if it is reversed. I think that's great that you were able to do that today. What I'm doing here, here's how you can tell, just for everyone out there. Here's how you can kind of judge the trend. And this is a very good move because it's moved up to this very key level, and that's this red line here. It's the 50-day moving average. So I don't like to buy stock typically if it's below the 50-day moving average, but as it moves above the 50-day average, I'm very interested. It's up $5 today, or about 10%. Let's kind of look at real quick. I just want to look at the intraday. Wow, that's a good intraday chart. Look at that. It just moved up, pulled off a little bit. I think we're right about at the close. So I think that it's pulling back a little bit. It looks like it pulled back a little bit, but it looks pretty strong. Has it reversed? Good question. I'm gonna just take a look at this to see. I think you are correct. I think it is a reversal. Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right on the money. I've drawn the line here, and to find a reversal, when you're looking, by the way, go to the daily chart, and then take the peak where it went, the $73. Draw a straight line and see if it's moved above that line. Now, typically, I don't like to just see it move above that line, but I also want to see it move above a very important average line. This is the 50-day moving average. This is the one I really like to see. I don't when I'm buying a stock, I like to see it move above the 50-day line before I buy it, because when it's below, that tends to be a downward motion. So this does look like the very beginnings of reversal, but it can fail. So you got to be careful on this. This one can fail, but it's very good. Here's what I would do: is I would look to see tonight where this one closes. I think we're still up. Here's what I would do: is tonight I would set a stop loss at the bottom of where of the previous day's close. So here's what I would do: I would set a stop loss at 55.91 on this one, because I do think that if it can hold above that, then it's probably going to go on even higher. So basically, here's on this one, what I would do is set stop loss on SNAP at, and I'm going to go right at the 21-day line, because that typically is a very good place. If you can hold it, that means it's reversed properly. I'm looking at 26.26, 56.26. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. 56.26. That's sort of where I'm looking to put my, to put my my line in the sand. There is that's where that's where I think that you can, if it pulls below 56.26, it's not a full reversal. If it stays at 56.26 and above, then it's a reversal. So I think that's kind of what you want to put your line in the sand. But congrats, that's a great move on Snap. I agree with you. I think Snap's a good company, and I think now that we're starting to see it come back, it's really nice. All right. Pinduoduo. Okay. Hi, man. Just bought some SQP thoughts. Okay, both of your companies you're looking at is really good. Pinduoduo, PDD. I'm not in it, but people have done terrific on this one. PDD is a Chinese company. Just and I have a trend line here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a trend line on this one. You bought at a good place. It's pulled back a little bit. Hopefully, it's going to stay above the close today. This is the trend line. It's trying to make a reversal. We're still below. This is kind of an early buy here because we're still below that 50-day line. But this is where you start trying to come into it. I do think it looks as if it's making a reversal, but the trend line is down. So I think you have to be very careful on PDD because it does look like it may not reverse higher tomorrow. It may not look reverse to higher. It's because it's down $10. So here's the thing. I would put my line in the sand on this one for tomorrow, and I think what you got to do is set your stop loss on this one at about 133.88. So here's what I would do on PDD. I would I would be setting my stop loss on PDD at and I'm going to say basically I'm basically going to say the bottom, the 10-day line, 135.48. So that's where I would be putting it. I would put it at 135. Was it? Okay, did I get that right? Hold on. Trying to make sure I get it correct. Oops. Yeah, right at the 10-day line, 135.48 is the number that I'm looking for. That's where I'm looking to set my stop loss. I'm moving all over the place. That's where I would set the stop loss on this one, because I do think that this may hold a reversal higher, but this is not a confirmed reversal on PDD. So we've got to be a little bit more careful on this one. We've got to be a little bit more careful on this one moving higher. So I definitely like the stock. It's just the question is, do we have a reversal? That's the key on this one. Do we have a reversal? So that's where I would put my stop loss on that. Okay, let's see. Look at thoughts on Uber. Let's take a look at Uber. Yeah, I haven't looked at Uber in a while. UBER. Is that right? Yeah. I'm not in Uber. I think that's the symbol for Uber. Yeah, Uber Technology is super great. Yeah, there's Uber. What do I think about that? Well, there is a buy point, but it's at 60.05, and we're currently at 56.87. And this is a consolidated base, so this is not the best of the consolidations. Here's the thing. Here's what I would say on this one. Let's look at the weekly chart. I want to see the weekly chart if we can even buy this right now. Yeah, we definitely can. Okay, and we're above the 40-day line. Let me see if there's a reversal that we can buy off of. It's so hard to buy these because they're all starting to trend higher. But let's see if there's a reversal. Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing with this one. I think her early buy. Yeah. Okay, for an early buy, I think we're still too early on this one. But I do think for an early buy, we can possibly, if it moves above about 59, then we can possibly do. So, here's where I would do my first buy would be my first buy on Uber would be at $59. Oops. Because it hasn't confirmed a reversal yet. So that's the thing. When so we're still below that. We're at 56. We're up a little bit after hours. We're up $3. Here's what I would do on this one with Uber, and I think Uber is possibly. I still really like this one, but it does have a weak checklist. I'll be honest with you, 55%. I'm not really liking that as much, but it has a lot of fund support, and I really like that. The industry is also quite good, 27 out of 192. So I do like this area. It's leisure services. I do think that when this pandemic ends, but when we start to reopen, Uber will be one of the beneficiaries. But here's the thing: I don't think it's ready to buy yet. I'm looking to buy it, potentially if it moves above about 59. That's where I'm seeing the reversal on it. So that's kind of my take on Uber. And but I think it's still early. I think it's too early on it right now. We got to be a little bit more cautious on it right now. So I probably would not. So CathPap, one, I think basically for Uber, what you've got to do, I think it's a good company again, but I would not buy it now. I'd watch list it, see if it moves above. Now the absolute lowest I would buy this at would be 59. Really, what I want to see is it move above 64. That's really what I want to see, because that is the correct buy point. The correct buy point is right here, 64.05. We could probably start nibbling here, but we can't really buy it until it moves above 64. Why do we do that? Well, in stock, what you want to do is you want to get something as it's ascending, and right now we want to go to a higher high. That's the first real chance that we have. And we do have a pattern. We do have what they call a base pattern. It's a consolidation, which is not the best of the base patterns. I wish this was a better pattern than it is, like a cup with handle. This is probably the least of the patterns. So really, the best place to buy it is as it moves above 64. You could possibly start nibbling it at about 59, but I really, it's probably best to wait on this one and wait for it to go higher. Wait till it can confirm a movement higher. So that's a really important thing. We covered Apple. Let's look at Palantir. Thank you, Wendy. I hope everything's good up there in beautiful Canada. By the way, I have two very, very nice Canadian stocks on the list. I can't believe it. ONCY and WFG. They're both breaking out, and I'm going to try to get you, if you're on that, I'm sure you're on the Action Trade Alerts list, but if you're on that list, I'm going to try to get that out with the charts. I hope that 4 stocks basically after the show. So let's look at Palantir. Palantir has been kind of a disappointment. I was shaken out of this, and I have not been back in, just because it's been, it just hasn't had the right chart. That's the main, that's been the main issue with it for me. I don't think it's viable at this point. We just went after hours, so it's down about 1 cent after hours. Unfortunately, this chart it's not looking good right now. We have a downward trend, and we haven't broken the trend. So basically, let's see if I'm going to set an alert on that line to see if we move above it. But basically, the problem here is, Palantir tried to make a move to the 21-day line. It got rebuffed, and unfortunately, it's going sideways or moving lower. So we probably don't want to be in Palantir right now. Of course, if you're down more than 7%, consider selling and waiting for a better entry. Right now, we have the market is moving essentially. It's starting. The Nasdaq stocks are starting to be reinvesting, and they've been pulling back since really January, and now we're starting to see that reversal. We're in an uptrend, but we have to be cautious because it's not going to be like it was last year. I don't think. I don't think so. But some of the stocks are starting to turn. That's why I'm so. I'm kind of jazzed the fact that Apple has made a reversal. I bought it, of course, on the reversal, at 127 and then sold a call just to protect myself. But I think we have seen a reversal, at least on some of the big cap techs. Microsoft turned yesterday. Apple's turning today. So that's saying to me that there's movement back into some of these mega caps, the mega cap techs. But that doesn't mean that everything is sharing, sharing this. The rally in the NASDAQ started basically with the semiconductor companies and the semiconductor manufacturing companies. And I think one of the companies that you might want to look at, and I think is still actionable, I'm going to be putting out for everybody that's on my Discord, I'm going to be putting out a special spread on on MU, and I still am in MU. I do have the shares, and I'm also going to buy the options on this one because I do think this is looking very nice. And this is a company called Micron Technologies, and it's actually based in Boise, Idaho. Believe it or not, it's kind of interesting. Right up the road here in Dallas, in Allen, Texas, they have a facility as well. So very familiar with it. I actually know some people over there at the company. It's a very good company. They're one of the major manufacturers of computer memory, and right now there's a chip shortage, so looking good. The chips are in a good bull cycle, but the rest of the tech you got to be more careful with. This is the one, it's moved up after 17 cents, so I'm very bullish on Micron, basically, and I want to kind of show you the weekly chart. The weekly chart's looking good. There's no real place to buy it. The last true buy point, unfortunately, was way back basically here in December, and it was a cup with handle first stage at 54.82, and it's just moved up since then. I think it's going to continue up because this stock is looking very, very nice. So that's one of the ones. If you're in, if you can't get back into Palantir and you've been pushed out, this one might be something you want to put on your watch list. I'm definitely in it, by the way. So there you go. All right, let's look at Riot Blockchain. Thanks, Umar. Appreciate it. Riot, there's kind of two stocks that trade similarly. There's Riot Blockchain, of course, and then Bitcoin. So this is, even though this isn't Bitcoin, this sort of trades in sympathy with Bitcoin because they are big on the blockchain technology, which is a tremendous technology. It's a little bit off today. This is a very volatile stock, so you got to be a little bit careful on this one and set your stop losses. But we have a relative strength of 99. Here's the problem with Riot right now. It's just not really, it's still in a downward trend, and I just don't like to buy stocks in a downward trend. We see now, I'm just drawing the trend line here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to alert this one because a lot of people ask. I'm not in Riot, but I'm very interested in it. I'm drawing this trend line. Basically, what's got to happen for this to be viable is we have to see it move above this trend line that I've brought, this dotted line. The reason is because that's where we're going to begin to see this reversal. Right now, we can't do that. We can't really buy because it hasn't reversed. It still has a downward trend. It has this downward trend, and we're still below that, you see, because we're still below that downward trend. I'm going to set an alert on the weekly chart as well. And what that'll do is that if it moves above that, then I'm going to be more interested in it. But really, in order to get to Riot Blockchain where I'm going to consider buying it, it's got to be up to about 53.50. And currently, it's at 48.37. So we're not reversed on this one yet. So I think you got to be really careful about this one. Now, of course, if you're in it and you're in the money, no problem. If you're down more than 7%, consider closing it and waiting for it to move above about 53.50. Because that's going to confirm that it's reversed. Right now, it's in a downward trend. So I don't like to buy things typically in a downward trend. So that's kind of my my play on that. Let's take a look at some people that are holding here for on TikTok. Let's see if we can get some more TikTok questions here. Apple long-term growth. I bought it today, so I definitely believe in it. What do you think of EVFM? EVFM, I don't know that stock. Let's look at it. EVFM. I get introduced to so many new stuff. It's doing this show. I love that. FOM Biosciences, $1.74. Whew, I can't say I like this one. It's got a relative strength of 1. I think you got to avoid this one. I'm sorry to tell you that, but I think maybe there's some other ones out there that might be better. Let's look at one that's breaking out in this space, ONCY. Instead of Evo Fim, you probably don't want this one. I would look instead at the one that's breaking out ENCY, and that is this one. It's Oncolox. I think I just said that right. It's a Canadian company, so it's a good company. Not that all Canadian companies are great, but I think a lot of the Canadian companies are very good, and they're kind of overlooked, in the general market. But this one's breaking out. It's got a nice stair stepping pattern on the weekly chart. It's got a good it's got a good it's got a good daily chart with some very nice cup action there, cup with handle. That's a very good pattern. It's a breakout. It's a $4 stock, $4.37. I think you're going to do a lot better with a stock like this than EVFM. So I wouldn't buy EVFM, but I would consider buying ONCY, which is the company. And by the way, if you're on the Action Trade Alerts, it's super easy. I'm going to basically put out 4 charts tonight. These are all stocks that are breaking out, and I've looked at each of the charts, and these are the ones that you might want to look at for potentially buying because they do look very good on the breakouts. Okay, thank you for that. All right, Palantir is a scam. Okay, well, yeah, you might be right, Mega How To Man. You never know. I've been. I was in. When on the I did move in on the IPO base. I wrote it up. I pushed up my stop loss and pulled back. I was sold out. Basically, let's see if I have that chart here. PLTR. I did make a little bit of money on this one, but I tried to re-enter it. Yeah. See, I came in off this consolidation. I want to show you this Mega How To. Thank you. I came in off this consolidation. Yeah, you see this line here that I drew. This was my buy point, and I don't even remember these sometimes. It's just amazing. After when it moved above about 2250, that's where I was the buyer. And then I wrote it, and then basically I was stopped out because what I did is I wrote it, and then I pushed my stop loss up, and then boom, it pulled back. So I don't think you could be in Palantir at least right now because it's not looking strong, unfortunately. Look for Tesla. Okay, thanks so much. Let's look for Tesla buy point. Here's the thing about Tesla. I have a small position in Tesla. I'll be honest with you, but really. It's down today to 670. Yeah, 671 after hours. That's what we're showing. Basically on this one, we're looking at 671 after hours, but it is moving up. So, gosh, this one is so tough. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. Yeah, we have a downward trend. So, I may have been shaken out of this one. I'm not sure exactly where I set my stop loss on this one, but I think it was at the 21-day line. So I may have just been pushed out. I'm not sure. That's usually where I set the stop loss on this, but I do think it has reversed. I just think it's a weak reversal, so hopefully we'll be back in it soon. I do like Tesla, but I think it's probably best at this point to wait until it moves above the 50-day line to buy. I usually like to buy early, but I think if it moves above 724, I think that's where we could get back in. But right now, unfortunately, it just it's not it's not a good buy point. I would say 669. That's not a bad 669. That makes sense. Yeah, I would definitely say 669 is the buy point. Let me just see. Oh yeah, you're right. No, that's exactly 669. Yeah, 669 basically is the 21-day exponential. I absolutely agree with you, How To Man. Mega How To Man. I definitely agree with you. That's the 21-day line, and that would be the buy point because that is the reversal. You are correct, absolutely on that. So that's excellent on that. I came in way high on that one. Again, I love Tesla so much. I came in when it popped up there to 703. I was in, and of course it's. I gauged it wrong. I thought it was going to be more powerful, but I think I'm still in it. I have a small position, not a big on full position, but I have a small position in it. All right, let's look at XPeng. These Chinese auto EV makers have not been doing as well as I would have liked them. But you know what company has been doing well in this space is General Motors, if you could believe it. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not a good entry point for Lee. It's below the 10-day line. It's right at the 10-day line. It's below the 50. It's not viable at this point. Unfortunately, because I do like these stocks, but they just aren't looking actionable right now. So let's look at Li Auto. This is the one that's kind of been a disappointment to me too. I don't have a position in this one, and I haven't owned this one, but I just don't think you can. There's a big sell signal here on Li Auto. I think you got to be careful. This is a major sell signal. We've got extremely high volume and a pullback way back from the 10-day moving average. This is a big sell signal. So here's the thing, Umar, with Li Auto. Li Auto is a sell signal big time. I'm going to put that up there for everyone can see because, LI is sell. This is a sell sign, and unfortunately, I just think you've got to, you just absolutely have to, have to sell this one because we have increasing volume here, and we have price action that's moving down, and we have relative strength line that's pointing down. So Li Auto, Xpeng is still okay, but I wouldn't buy it. Li Auto, I think you've got to sell it, unfortunately. Now, talking about the autos, let's look at GM because I know it's not very sexy, but this is one that has been doing well out of all of them. Out of all of them. You know what? And I had this one, and again, I sold it. I probably shouldn't have. But it's pulled back a little bit today, but, General Motors is looking very, very strong in the EV space. And these people are going to be a force in EVs. By the way, I wanted to show you two stocks. There was an interesting action today on a stock that you might know, and that is first of all, Blink, BLNK. I want to show you that one because I do think there's been a lot of action, and the other one is ChargePoint. Now, Blink is down. What's ChargePoint? I think it's CGPT. This one is a recent IPO. Let me see if I can get the information on this one. I should have this right in front of me, but it's ChargePoint, and it was looking really good today. Let's see if I can find some more info on this one. This is one I think you might want to look at. CHPT. I knew I could find it. CHPT is the one I want to look at. CHPT. Talking about electric vehicles. That's why this one. This is a recent IPO, and I think this one is going to break out very nicely after hours. There was unusual options action on this one. There's a usual options action on this one. So this is one you might want to put down. I may consider buying this one tomorrow. As you can see, 28.85. Tomorrow, I think there's a very good likelihood this will pop. Let me take a look. I want to see exactly where it is in relative to so 31.40 is where I'd be interested in buying this one. I do think you're going to see it move higher tomorrow, but I don't know if it'll move high enough. Really, to buy this one, it has to move above about that line there, and I'm going to set the alert on that line. That's where I want to see it move above, because I want to see it move above the highest high and a little bit more. So this is kind of where I want to see it move, but I do think we're going to see some action on this one called ChargePoint. It's not the greatest checklist, the 55 checklist. I'd like to see a better checklist. It's 15% off of its high, but I do believe that because of the options action on this one, that we're seeing some good stuff. So let's look at the options to kind of look to see, what, and it's the call options that I'm the most interested in, and what I'm looking at primarily is the 421s, 29 options. There's a lot of volume. See, 129. This is a very this is an unusual amount of activity on this particular issue. So 421, that's just a few days from here. I think that may be is that a, I have to see if it's an earnings. It looks as if, yeah, the 421 option, I do think this is when it's going to pop because there was a lot of activity on these options. It was an unusual amount of option activity. The 421 option, the 29 price. So I do think that people are expecting this to move above 29, and that would be in a very few days because, obviously that's just 2 weeks from now, and that's where the option has appreciated tremendously. So this is one I think you want to put on your radar screen. It's called ChargePoint, CHPT. And, you can't guarantee anything, but when there's a lot of action on the options, that's kind of where you want to be sometimes because that's where you're going to see a pop on the price. So that's one you might want to look at. Okay, let's look at the next one. Thank you, Eric. Hi, Jim. Loving the video. Thank you. Would love to hear your further thoughts on BFLY with its recent improvements. Great. Let's take a look, Eric, at BFLY. All right, let's look at that. BFLY, and that is. I'm just trying to pull up the chart, kind of get an idea. Butterfly Networks, ultrasound. Okay, cool. I like ultrasound. That's been a very good area for a lot of companies. Interesting. After hours, it's down about 2 cents. Looking at this, let's look at the weekly chart on this one. Yeah, this is essentially this is not an IPO by any stretch. This has been around a while. It's right now it's in a downward trend, but it's starting to turn upwards. 67 is relative strength. Let's kind of see. 44 checklist. So I'm not really liking that checklist. Let me just take a look at the options activity to see. Yeah, there's a lot of option activity on this 1750 call. Very interesting. Not as much as the one out here, but it seems as if there's a lot of interest because there's a lot of interest on this particular call. It's interesting. So it's 45. So let me look at the 17. Let me look at the 17 put. So, okay, 1750. Excuse me, 1750 put. There's a fair amount of action on that one too. No actions on these. So, it does. Somebody's making a pretty big bet that this is going to pop. They must know something. So, Butterfly Networks. Normally I wouldn't recommend this, but looking at the options, I think you might have something there. I can't recommend it based on the chart, but looking at that option activity, there definitely is abnormal option activity for this particular stock. Let's see, and I want to see the date that I'm looking at for the unusual option activity, 1750. So really the real big one is going to be, there's a lot of open interest on this one. It's the 421 1750 call. That's the one that seems to have some interest. Now, there's more volume on the 521, but 1750. So 1750 seems to be an important number. I can't really say either way on this one, to be honest with you, but I appreciate a shot at it. The chart is not, I wouldn't buy off of this chart unless I knew more. Is 420 2021 again? Probably, that was way back in my. Here's the thing, though, and by the way, I have to look at this one because I have a bear call on this one. SZT. I think it's Constellation Brands. Is that right? Did I get that? No. Yeah. Let me see if I can get the right one. Okay, so this is STZ, I think it is. Yeah, that's it. STZ. I mean, you would think because I have there we go, Constellation Brands. Okay. So I'm in terms of marijuana stocks, I'm looking at this one because I have a bear call spread on this one. They've got earnings basically tomorrow. Yeah, they got earnings tomorrow, and they are falling, which is good for me because I want to see it pull back, obviously. But I want to see how it traded toward the end of the day. Okay, yeah, we were pretty good selling. I think there's going to be more selling on this one. I'm hoping, anyways. Hoping I'm right on that. But yeah, this is my marked up chart here. It's kind of confusing. You can see it. Yeah, this is Constellation Brands, and these guys own a major stake in Tilray. They're trading down, so I don't know. Maybe it will be, but marijuana stocks have been so hard to play. I was really doing them more about 4 years ago with MJ, which is the ETF, but haven't really touched them since. That's that's what everyone says, right? No, I really don't, because I'm getting up there. I guess I don't know. Thoughts on Oxgen Incorporated waiting for FDA approval on COVID vaccine? Huh? That's interesting. ONCY. Well, okay. Well, that's interesting. ONCY. I think that's it. Right. No, I got the wrong one. I don't know if the Patty98. Could you possibly text me the symbol on that one? That would be great. It'd be really help me. All right. Okay. I don't know if the OCUGEN. Let me look at that one. Get the symbol on that one. OC. Let me see if I got that. OCUGEN. OCUGEN. Let's look at that symbol. Right. It's okay. OCGN. There we go. So let's look at OCGN. See if we could answer Patty's question here. And here's the thing about this. I can't really get too excited with a chart like this. It may be up after it's basically flat after hours. No, it's down 3 cents after hours. It is trading after hours. Yeah, this could be a home run, but I just wouldn't buy it. This isn't really an investment yet, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't get too excited. It's got a 44 checklist. I think you got to be careful on this one, Patrick. I think you got to be careful on this one. I wouldn't buy it, to be honest, unfortunately. Okay, let's look at. Let's do this one, CHPT. Thanks. Let's look at CHPT. And that's ChargePoint. I like this one. There's been a lot of activity on ChargePoint, okay? This is the one I'm trying to figure out what to do with, because I do think this one's going to pop, by the way, Umar. I do think this one's going to pop. I like this one. There's been a lot of activity in the options, and I kind of want to show you that really quickly. For some reason, and I don't, yep, there we go. There's been a lot of activity, and this isn't showing here, but there was, open interest. Okay. It seems like this is an awful lot of volume for this. 129 on the 21st. This is the 29 call. And there was a lot of buying. Now, the open interest, of course, this has all been filled. But this is a fair amount of action, considering this is about 4 times the normal volume for this option. So there has been a lot of interest around this particular issue. I've got a line. I really don't know what to think of this. I really haven't evaluated it, but I have been in Blink charging, and I've done very well in the past. Now, Blink is pulled back, but I do think that with all these EVs coming out, I do think that this is an area that's going to do very well. It's improved a lot. It's in the alternative energy area, and I kind of want to show you the chart for that whole chart. So let's kind of see where it ranks in terms of this area. It's this particular group. Let's look at this group. This is the alternative energy group, and so basically we've got the wind power, Plug Power, Brookfield. I'm just looking at all the people that a ChargePoint. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the 6th largest in this particular book, in this particular area. Brookfield seems to be the biggest. Now, Brookfield, I know I'm very familiar with Brookfield because it's a Canadian company that owns that owns a lot of stuff like a lot of power. They're mainly based, I believe, in Ontario. They also have a lot of U.S. holdings. Let me look at BEPC just really quickly. Yeah, Brookfield Renewables. And they've got solar and wind, and they've got a lot of kind of stuff. This is up 1.75. This is probably the better play, but I can't tell. And I'm just looking here. Okay, so the top stocks in this area, now they're all down. They're all down. So let's look at the stocks in the group. Blink Charging. This is the one that. So basically, Blink is smaller than ChargePoint. ChargePoint is the bigger of the two. So let's compare Blink. And this is Blink Charging. And see, this is moved. I think this is reversed. Blink is moved, I think, well. I'm not so sure about ChargePoint. I want to look at the options action on, Blink. There's a lot of options actions. There's a tremendous amount of open interest for the June 21 40 call. There's a lot of open interest considering the size of this company. I would have to go with the I would have to go with Blink. I would have to go with Blink. I may try to put together a spread on Blink for. Let me look at this one. Blink, BLNK, and this is going to be looks like the June 21, the June 21 40 call. So maybe I can put together a spread on this one, limit our risk. But this is looking pretty good, from what I can tell. Anyway, so I think with Blink and ChargePoint, I even though Blink is smaller, I think that's the one. I think that's where you want to be, rather than at Rolls Royce. Boy, I haven't seen that in a long time. Okay, NO. I'm just trying to look to see where we're at. Oh gosh, we have run. I've been so jammering on. I've been I've been yammering on so much that I haven't said anything. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. Is the Discord? This is a question from. This is a question from TikTok. Is the Discord free? Well, no. Unfortunately, it's only for the premium members. But we do have a special. And we do have a money-back guarantee for 30 days. It's $30, and then there's a $10 discount for $20. So if you're interested, it's available as well. Okay, well, everyone, I do have something that is I'm going to be putting out, and these are the 4 stocks that are breaking out today. But you got to be on the Action Trade Alerts to get this. And the way you get on that Action Trade Alerts is go to www.dallastradingfloor.com and need your first and last name and your email address, and we'll get it right out to you tonight. That's going to be the 4 stocks that are breaking out today. And till tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow, of course, at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. And by the way, I do have Discord hours for all of our premium members, and that is going to be from tomorrow from 6 o'clock Central, which is 7 o'clock Eastern, to to 7 so 7 to 8 Eastern, 6 to 7 Central, and that's for the premium members with the Discord room. And of course, that is available at vinny.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So until tomorrow, thanks everybody for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I didn't get to everyone, but I will be back tomorrow. And thanks again, and happy trading. And I will see you tomorrow.